So what's wrong with being friends with women? Nothing, of course. In fact, I encourage men to learn how to be friends with women for a variety of reasons. First of all, friendship is the foundation of a good romance. In other words, a good friendship fertilizes a sexual bond, allowing it to grow higher and deeper. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Secondly, we become better lovers through our friendships with women. We learn how their minds and bodies work. Most essentially, that the arousal process for women is different than it is for men. What gives a man a boner is often not what gets a woman wet. Lastly, if you find yourself in a situation with a woman where the attraction isn't mutual, whether you feel it more for her or vice versa, becoming friends with her may not be such a bad long-term seduction strategy. If you feel it more for her, then ceasing your pursuit may leave a vacuum that she fills with her own desire, and possibly for you. This only works, by the way, if you truly give up the notion of ever having sex with her. Treat her like a buddy. You may find that she starts flirting with you. If she only does this in public, then it's a trap. She may begin touching you on the arm when you're at a coffee shop or sitting in your lap when you're at a party. Don't fall for this. As soon as you do, she'll recoil and you'll be back to square one. But sometimes in those relaxed moments of camaraderie, you'll inadvertently do things that trigger her feminine arousal instincts. For instance, once, long ago, I was out driving with a female friend. This was a woman that I had courted with flowers and dinners for several weeks until I realized that she wasn't flirting back. Eventually, we settled into a friendship. In the car that night, while we were going 65 miles an hour, a tire popped. She shrieked, the car swerved, I manhandled it to the side of the road and gently braked to a halt. I made sure she was all right. Then I got out, took off my nice shirt, and changed the tire. When we got back to her place, she went into the other room and came out wearing only a silk kimono. I exclaimed, "What the fuck?" That's because her tongue was in my mouth and I couldn't speak clearly. But she knew what I meant. "I don't know," she replied. "I guess I got turned on watching you change that tire in your undershirt." Go figure. On the other hand, sometimes no matter how charming you are as a friend, a woman's attraction for you may never be triggered. And if you've already let go of the notion of ever having her body, this won't matter, especially since by this point, regardless, you should have already been sizing up her friends. And I already know now I'm going to have to remind our female listeners that I'm talking to men here. If you're disturbed by the notion of men instinctively craving harems, that's your problem. You can't change male instincts any more than they can change yours. Shit, you can't even change your own instincts. They're there and they are what they are. Meaning that there's a dark side to both male and female sexuality. You know, it's funny, and I know I'm sounding defensive and apologetic here, but I never have to remind men to butt out when I'm talking to women. And men are just fine with the dark, dirty side of their sexuality. However, I know we live in a culture where women are punished for theirs, not only by men, but also by other women. So, ladies, I'm reaching out to you now, and as always, if you have problems with this or any other men's advice segment, please feel free to leave comments on the website or contact me directly and I'll put you on the air. I promise. But for now, back to the topic at hand. So, gentlemen, there is a common phrase among pickup artists: women want men who already have women. And if you haven't yet noticed, hot women travel in packs. So, once you've become friends with one hot woman, you can bet that others will be forthcoming. And once one of them wants you, others, even ones who once found you repulsive, will miraculously find you irresistible. But how do you stay out of the friends category altogether? That's what you wanted to know in the first place, right? Okay, it's simple. What's the secret, Paul?
You gotta be a threat.
Wait a minute. What the fuck you talking about, be a threat?
All right, guys, hold on. What do you mean, Paul, by be a threat? You don't mean be violent or abusive in any way, right?
No. She just gotta know, you mean business.
Okay, but what does that mean?
She just gotta know you can get the job done. That's all I'm saying.
What?
All right, let me explain, because I have used the phrase be a threat in the past. And what I mean, guys, is you can't have it both ways. In your first few encounters with a woman, you can either be a nice guy and be taken for friendship material, or you can be a rogue and a lover. And by rogue, once again, I'm not talking about any kind of violence or psychological abuse. I'm talking about perceptions. I'm talking about first impressions. Women will size you up, guys, instinctively upon first meeting you, whether you like it or not. Just as we have gut-level reactions to women, so do women have gut-level reactions to men. Nor by contrasting the term rogue with that of nice guy am I saying that successful lovers can't be kind. The whole rogue lover experience for women must be pleasant. That is, if you want to attract good women. If you want to attract nightmares, then by all means be one yourself. After all, even the most heinous felons have their groupies. And I'm saying all of this from the perspective of an older guy. I'm in my 50s now, and getting laid just isn't as important to me. My creative work is my driving force. And the pool of women from which I now draw cups of refreshing femininity holds the ones who are attracted to my body of work.
Say what now?
He likes women who like the stuff he writes and shit.
But to the many men who are tired of being taken for granted by women,
That's a lot of guys.
I enjoin you to try this strategy. If having sex with a particular female is important to you, then from your very first encounter until the deed is done, you have to withhold your friendship in the same way that women withhold sex. This doesn't mean that you have to treat her poorly. Once again, that's not at all what I'm saying. It just means that you have to keep her guessing about your intentions. Maybe you want to have sex with her, and maybe you don't. Don't tip your hand. Be mysterious. Keep the best part of yourself hidden. There are various ways of turning a woman on to the point where she tips her hand, and we will cover these ways in upcoming Advice to Men segments. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this thought. Would you say that James Bond is a nice guy and a good friend to women? Sometimes, but only after he slept with them.